Alright guys, so here is the Jeep, and if you guys watched my last video over replacing the spark plugs, you guys are going to know that I have 5 OEM plug wires and then 1 AutoZone one because this one broke on the plug side. So I'm just going to give you guys a few before shots before I replace them. It's kind of hard to see in here on the passenger side, but they're peeking out right there. Anyway, so I got those Granatelli plugs, and today we're going to replace the spark plug wires on the Jeep. Alright guys, here it is, the Granatelli Motorsports MPG Plus spark plug wires. This is guaranteed up to 15% more miles per gallon and increased horsepower. 0 ohm resistance, increases miles per gallon up to 15%, increases horsepower and torque also, faster engine startup, smoother running engine, and a limited lifetime warranty on here. So we're going to try to debunk some of these myths and test them out before we put them in, see if what they're saying is actually true. And around the blocks on the other side tells you what it's made out of, the construction, what sets this apart from a standard or economy spark plug wire. But you can find all this information online. I'll leave links in the description below. So let's go ahead and unbox this puppy and see what's inside. Here is what comes in the kit. 6 plug wires, all cut to length. Some wires, if you buy the wires, they do not come cut to size, so you have to cut it for yourself or just deal with it. I really like that they notice detail that the first 3 wires on the left side of the ignition coil are 90-degree angles and the other ones are straight angle, so that's pretty nice. Comes with these sweet labels to label which cylinder goes where. It's kind of strange, they go up to 8, so they probably use this for every spark plug. They just throw this bag in with it. They also have some wire separators here. I'll show you guys later how to use zip ties to do the same exact thing. I don't know if I'm going to use these exactly. And they give you just a little bit of dielectric grease, but I have some of my own that I'll be using also. Alright, so we're going to start on this end. Make sure you disconnect your battery. And what you want to do is just pretty much just pull on these until they come off. Should come pretty easy. 3. If you have a pair of spark plug pliers, then it'll work a little bit easier for you. There you go. Now I have it disconnected on this side, on the ignition coil side. We're going to go to the individual spark plugs and disconnect it from there. Alright, so we're going to go to the first one right here. Pull it out. You should be pretty easy to pull out. There you go. And now I'm going to repeat the process and make sure I lay them down on the table in order. And then you want to get in here and do these 3, which gets a little complicated because there are spark plug separators over there. So I'm going to get into that in a second. But basically what you do is you just kind of cut them open. I can't really film that for you guys because there's nowhere to set up the camera and I only have one person here, so I'm just going to do it afterwards, and then afterwards I'm just going to go ahead and explain. Break it down. Alright guys, I'm all taped up and patched up. It was a notorious, sharper than a razor blade zip tie that got me. It was already an existing cut, so just ripped the scab off. I started bleeding all over the place like you guys saw. So, just taped myself up, looked like a QB. Shout out to Donovan McNabb.
McNabb fakes, rolling, firing, touchdown, and it is complete!
Alright guys, just got out the last 3 here. And I found a little friend. Oh, well, he's actually dead and gone by now. I don't know if you guys can see. That's a B. That is a B right there. Anyways, got these puppies out. Now let's go ahead and compare the sizes. Alright guys, so I have all the old plugs. You guys can see they're in black and the new ones are in green, obviously. And I lined them up to match, and they're actually pretty good in length. They're all matched up pretty damn well. I'm actually kind of impressed. As you guys can see, there's a different design on how they plug into the plugs. But as far as 90-degree angles go and which ones are straight, they have it down to a T. So as you guys can see on the OEM, there is this sheathing on the wires. So I have some of this stuff. I've had this stuff laying around for a while now. I'm just going to cut it up. It's pretty much the same exact material. Got this from Harbor Freight, and it should work. I'm also going to use some electrical tape to just secure it. I like to put some on the ends here so it just doesn't slip off or come undone somehow. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And also, I'm going to go ahead and label the wires. So the trick with these is you kind of want to bend it out kind of like this, and that's how you get it over. Kind of takes a little bit of finesse. With a little bit of patience, you can get it there pretty easy. Right there. So now I'm going to do the rest of these and then check in with you guys once I'm all ready to put them in. Alright guys, as you guys can see, they're all nicely done here, glued with electrical tape, and at the bottom where they plug into the spark plugs, they are numbered. I didn't put them at the top because, you know, the ignition coil is already numbered, so it's kind of redundant to add the numbers at the top. Now, if you guys are doing the same thing for you guys, or same thing for your Jeep, I would recommend replacing this loom because after it's exposed to heat, it begins to get really brittle and cracks. So I would go ahead and just replace it. And for like $2 at Harbor Freight, you can get 50 feet of this stuff. So it's really an easy thing to do. So it's now time to put in the back or the passenger side wires into this wire holder that Mopar gives you. As you guys can see, they're numbered 1, 3, and 5, and 1 and 3, so you can put them in the correct ports to lead them to the correct places. So let's start with number 5 here, and this one should be this gap right here. This gap right here should lead directly to it. Actually, we're not even going to use this. We're not going to use this at all. Mostly because I think this design is stupid. Alright, now if you guys are going to use this, then I'm going to warn you, these little tabs that go over do break. So what you want to do if that happens to you, just get a zip tie and then zip tie it down like that, and then tighten it down, and that should do the job. Or if you still have the tab open like here, then just secure it like that. Real easy. If you're going to take these apart, then you guys will know that you just slip in a screwdriver right here, and it's a tab and it comes off. So it's a little click-in tab. Mine broke off, so I'm just not going to use this thing. Zip ties and wire separators will do me just fine. So, if you guys don't have any of these fancy smancy wire separators or any separators of your own, I can show you guys how to do it with a zip tie. So you want to get one zip tie and thread it under the wires that you want to connect, or separate I should say. Oh shit. What? Oh, this one's broken. Awesome. Alright, so you just want to put it one zip tie under the one that you want to separate here. Pretty simple. And then you don't want to tighten it all the way, you kind of give it some slack. Then you get your other ones and put them in between, but then put them perpendicular to the zip tie that you just put on. And again, don't tighten it all the way just yet. Do it again. And repeat as many times for as many wires you're separating. And then once you have all your zip ties in the proper place and you're all adjusted where you want it to be, then you can tighten it down these perpendicular ones first, and then finish off with that last one. Then you guys have wire separators that won't come off, and they're just really free zip ties. Alright, so I have my multimeter right here just to test the resistances of these new wires. Turns out they're all 0, like they said. But I wanted to test the old ones to see what they were after 100,000 miles and how this AutoZone one was after just a couple miles. So pretty much how you do this is you want to get your multimeter set to resistance to 20K right here. Put on, put these in the correct places, and then stick the two ends on the two leads of the wire. Like so. And now, as you guys can see, the reading is about 9. Now, I logged all the data here and just numbered them from cylinders 1 through 6. 1, 3, and 5 are on the passenger side, so that means the wires are longer. So it kind of makes sense that the resistance numbers are bigger, because the longer the wire, the higher the resistance is, if you guys take physics class before. Shorter ones, 2, 4, and 6, all are around 3 and 4. Makes sense, because they are shorter. Now after 100,000 miles, as you guys can see, they are far off from 0. I don't know what they are from factory. Maybe you guys can tell me what they are from factory. If you guys just bought a brand new Jeep Wrangler, then you guys can tell me. But here are the numbers for mine after 100,000 miles and some abuse. Cylinder 1 is from AutoZone. This is 9.12. And it's pretty much brand new. Only has maybe 50 miles on it. And the rest of these do have 100,000. These are the original equipment from the factory. And also this is the ohm. You don't know what this is. This is the symbol for resistance. And this right here is a mobile ohm. Place this 90 angle on the ignition coil right here for the corresponding spark plug you're about to plug in. You should hear a satisfying click. Make sure it's all the way in. And then come down to here. And then, let's see where we go. Right here. And simply push this on and you'll hear a click also. Just like that. Give it a little tug, make sure that's secure. Alright, as you guys can hear, it's running on all 6 in the proper order. Go ahead and check, make sure the wires aren't touching the exhaust or anything, because the wires will melt. And they look just fine to me. Alright, so posted a post to Instagram and you guys said to heat wrap the wires, so I did. Put some of that loom stuff on this side also. So now it kind of looks like that. I'll give you guys a final look at what they look like. Been running these for about a week now, and we're going to go ahead and see what the miles per gallon are. Here, miles per gallon is, and then I'll do some quick calculations a little bit in a second. So I'm going to do some calculations on if the 15% increase is actually truthful. So before, my Jeep was reading 14.2 miles per gallon, and afterwards it was 16.4. So to take 15% of 14.2, you set up a proportion. So you have 15% out of 100. So anytime you're using a percent, that means it's that number out of 100. And then you have X is what you're going to try to find. Basically 15% of 14.2. So we're trying to figure out what 15% of 14.2 is, and then from there you can figure out if it increased by 15%. So from there you can do butterfly multiplication. 100x is equal to 15 times 14.2. 14.2 times 15 is 213. So you have x equals 213 over 100. So that's 2.13. So that's 15% of 14.2. So now you can add these two numbers to figure out what the increase number will be. So 14.2 plus 2.13 equals 16.33. So as you guys can see, we had just a little bit more of 15%. So roughly 15%, because the driving wasn't exactly the same, but it's just a week's worth of driving in both cases. So I drive the same route every day, and it's pretty much just going to work and home. So anyway, so I guess it's not a myth, it's actually truthful. 15% increase. Alright guys, that'll be the end of today's video. I'll leave a link in the description below to the plugs that I got from Granatelli Motorsports. Go ahead and check them out. And it's not a sponsored video or anything, but anyways, like the video if you liked it. Comment below if you any questions or concerns or comments. I love to go through the comments and answer each one of them. So go ahead and do that. Subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. And with that, I'll see you guys later. Peace.